Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Line of Credit show. And today I'm going to be talking about gold hitting a record high price of $2,300. And this has provided all the gold bugs and contrarians with a big fat smile on their face. We all know what gold is. It's a precious metal that has a variety of advantages to it. It's a tangible asset, it has intrinsic value, and it's a hedge against inflation. These are the three main advantages to gold. Gold is a key component of the global financial system, even though it may not seem like it. Gold isn't just a hedge against inflation, it's also a hedge against a downturn in asset prices. There are many ways to gain exposure to gold, one being purchasing physical gold outright, the others being purchasing gold stocks, purchasing spot gold futures and or CFDs, and there are ETFs that offer access to gold. Most people, from average investors to hedge fund managers, they look at gold as a safe haven asset. Example, I know it's a bit of an unorthodox example, but here's an example. If there was a global cyber attack on the banking system, then there's a higher probability that we will temporarily move to a cash and or gold money system. Gold will be the new cash if global digital payment systems were to crash. I know it's a bit odd, unorthodox to say, but that's an example out of the many, many different examples of why gold is a safe haven asset. This week, the price of spot gold hit $2,300, which is an all time record high. Gold has been about for thousands and thousands of years. It was used throughout the Roman Empire days, and it has never reached this price. So, as we speak, all the gold bugs, contrarians, and the gold miners are all loving it. Why has gold hit record high price now whilst inflation is falling? Why didn't it hit a record high price when inflation was above main 10%? The key reason why gold prices didn't reach record high when inflation was above 10% is because traders and investors priced in a hike in interest rates. They knew that central banks would react through increasing interest rates to fight the inflation. So we witnessed a capital flight into bonds. Why? Because bonds are low risk and the yield on these bonds went up. Why buy gold, which doesn't offer any yield and isn't as low risk as a government bond? This is one of the main reasons why gold didn't hit a record high when inflation broke 10%, because it was a capital flight into the bond market. What is causing gold to rise now? What's the motive behind this bullishness? There are a few reasons why gold has hit a record high price. One of the reasons being instability. There's economic and political instability out there, and is currently shaking the global market. So investors are seeking a safe haven amongst this uncertainty. In times of instability and uncertainty, gold is both king and queen. This instability includes a war in Ukraine, the war in the Middle East, geopolitical attention, and a potential coming conflict between China and Taiwan. Western politics is also becoming more unstable. There's a high probability that the Conservative Party will lose power for the next 5 to 10 years. There is also a high probability that Trump will gain power after the US election. Populism across the West is rising, especially in Europe. Culture wars are causing division, and we have a deeply polarized society. This wave of instability is rewarding the price of gold. Another reason is a potential recession in developed countries. Developed countries, mainly in Europe and the US, face heightened recession risk. Bankruptcy surged by 18% in the US and 30% in the Eurozone. That's going back to last year. Germany saw a 25% increase in bankruptcies in 2023 compared to 2022, while countries like England have witnessed bankruptcies surpassing those of the 2008 financial crisis. This is driven by factors such as rising interest rates and borrowing costs, alongside the phasing out of government pandemic support. These are the two main reasons why bankruptcy rates are rising. Rising energy prices aren't helping. These conditions are leading to a growing number of bankruptcies, and Moody's predicts this trend will persist throughout the year. Inflation is another factor why gold's hitting record high. In the last 3 years, there has been a wave of inflation in the UK and across the globe. The CPI surpassed the 10% mark. While this has been occurring in the UK, the pound sterling has lost a lot of value. £100 now purchases less goods than what £100 could have purchased 4 years ago. Inflation has eroded a lot of the purchasing power in Britain. The cost of living crisis was an effect derived from increasing inflation. This hasn't just occurred in the UK, it has occurred all around the world. The dollar, the euro, and other currencies, they've all lost value since 2020. This is slowly being reflected in the price of gold. When you have more money chasing the same amount of gold, the inevitable result will be higher gold prices. It's basic economics. Global currency is losing purchasing power, so gold is being rewarded. Traders are currently scrutinising the inflation numbers and the coming effect from a potential change in monetary policy. Central banks have signalled an end to interest rates going up. They are now signalling potential cuts in interest rates. So if central banks do cut rates and inflation does go up, then central banks may be forced to increase interest rates again to fight the inflation derived from them cutting rates. It could be a case of central bankers chasing their own tails. This scrutiny and uncertainty is pushing traders and investors into gold. If central banks do cut rates and inflation does keep falling, then in my opinion, traders will yank money out of the gold market and will direct it to other markets. Instability, potential recession, and inflation are the three main reasons why gold is hitting an all-time record high price. Will this bullish run in gold last? I'm iffy to be fair. I think there will be a small downturn in gold prices, maybe back below the 2k mark. But long term, I'm bullish on gold, and I think gold will break the 4k price barrier between the years 2028 and 2032. The type of question currently on investors and traders' minds is, will the gold rally be long term, or will it slowly die out? Just like it did post 2010. The question I have is, will gold mining companies do well, or will the rise in populism and political instability in emerging markets and third world countries be problematic for gold miners? Time will soon answer these questions. I hope you enjoyed listening to the show, and until the next show, have a prosperous and a profitable time.